Hey everyone, so we're starting the sculpture again, and this is day 2 now. I didn't get a chance to end the first video, so we're just picking up where we left off. For the sculpture to keep it for the night, what I did was I just wetted a couple paper towels. I got my spritz bottle here with water, wetted some paper towels over double lapped, and I put them over the ears to keep those, because the small little thing sticking off is what wants to dry up first. Stuck a trash bag over it, and then I just taped it with some masking tape. So we're just gonna... Something to note when working with wed too, dried out wed, like crumbly, the dust, if you inhale wed dust, it's like super cancerous. That's something that's all over the boxes, warning and stuff. So don't stir up the dust if it's on the floor. If you have clean sweep or something, use that to keep the dust from getting in the air. So let's leave those on his ears because we're not messing with them for right now. Do a little mist over it, a little mist of water, just kind of freshen them up a bit. And then we'll start sculpting. I wanted to point out what a lot of this is, the shaping and the anatomy here, what's going on, is that's just this one tool. This is a great tool that I modified, which you can easily do yourself. So what I did is I took a regular loop tool here, and you can see I took it to like a big sander saw thing, whatever you got, and I notched in these teeth, right? So that's just like a regular, it was like this on both sides, just a sharp edge loop tool. I added these notches very subtly, and then I buffed it out on a buffer. This is also the equivalent of getting maybe a saw blade, taking those notches down, just like this piece, right? Right. I sand those down so they're not as sharp, but then hit it with a buffer or a Dremel with like a little buffy bit. Soften those up a lot. See how soft they are? Very round, soft rakes. I just did it on one side. Now, what I do to shape these forms, right? As I just kind of zone out and I'm sitting here and I'm imagining, I'm figuring out where each of these shapes are. And I'm just making this stuff up. I mean, I'm going off just of anatomy of what I know, like the eye and the cheekbone here, you know, things tucking in. So with this rake tool, you make little U shapes like this. And I'm going, all right, this is a shape here. I'm adding that defined line and I'm kind of raking it up. And I'm changing angles and stuff, but I'm always keeping the rake kind of, I'm not like doing smooth rakes, right? I'm kind of doing U-shaped wispies, which is giving me that kind of round, fleshy look. I've just been using this tool the whole time pretty much, with a little bit of just a regular loop tool to like get in these deeps and kind of like go in and pull out. You know, I'm pushing in, finding these main lines and kind of bringing them out on both sides. Right, this is the peak right here, as you can see. So I'm gonna take this down. I always want to work on the right side first. That's just a habit. That's my personal, just what I do. It's always been a habit. Work on the right side, then match the left. So right side's really far along. So let's get the left side to get to this right side level. We're starting to think about symmetry, right? Like, where are these tear ducts? Are they lining up? They need to be lining up with where the center of his face is, right there. So now we're just mirroring stuff. I think this eyebrow should be a bit higher, like that, than that eyebrow. I think that looks kind of funny. So let's just push this kind of blob up here, and then we'll make it look like that's a muscle being pushed up. Now, if you're doing something like an animatronic head, you're gonna have your eye forms on a flat bar, because you don't want your eyes to be off, right? One's sticking out, one's further in. This doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be super precise, so we're just gonna wing it and see how close we can get. See, this needs to be beefed out. See how that's beefy and that's not. That's affecting how this looks. So let's beef this up. What's nice too is, I mean, he's super asymmetrical. I mean, it's totally off, but we want to have some hints of like stuff that's symmetrical, just so it looks a little bit more real and less, you know, lumpy and weird. See, this is what makes a sculpture take months and months, for me at least, to do. Some people can blast this stuff out and they're not too concerned about, you know, like this process, you know. But for fine art, you know, it's important to make it look real good, which is this. Okay, so I'm gonna make him look up, because the final sculpture is gonna have him looking up here at something right here. So I'm gonna change the look of his eyes, and again, this is just placeholders. These eyes. This is just so I know sculpturally, like what's going on with his look. But we're gonna put fake eyes or resin eyes in here, so that'll change the whole thing. And just the like him looking in a different direction totally changes how the eyelids are laying out now, right? So we gotta change these to where it's like more looking up, a bit more open. Let's see what his ears are doing. That ear's gross, how it looks like a little suction cup. So we'll kind of add that too, how that's kind of like protruding weirdly out. Like a gross little suction cup. Now we also gotta work on this back. We're kind of ignoring the back right now. We're too busy focused on the front, but maybe we should start figuring out what his back crack is gonna look like. So really I'm just going off of this reference here of that back crack. Back of his head crack and how that goes. So that's how it looks from the side now. Let's see his face. Not bad. Getting some nice shapes going on. How does this profile look? That's not bad. Now this is only on his profile, but there's a double wrinkle tucked in thing here. I'm gonna accentuate that because that's kind of funny looking.